LeBron was asked about how many years he has left and how he'll handle his swan song in the NBA.
I have not mapped out how many seasons I have left. I know it's not that many. I also don't know if I will. I was asked this question a couple of days ago. Will you kind of take the farewell tour, or will you kind of just Tim Duncan it? I'm 50-50. I'm going to be honest, because there's times where I feel like I guess I owe it to my fans that's been along this journey with me for 2 decades plus to be able to give them that moment, you know, where it's every city and whatever the case may be, and, you know, they give you your flowers or whatever the case may be, you know, and that seems cool. But the other side of, I've never been that great with accepting, like, praise. It's a weird feeling for me. I never really talked about it much, but it's just a weird feeling for me.
Okay, Mad Dog, I'd like to start with you. Are you buying that LeBron will walk away quietly?
Absolutely not. Come on. Anybody think that LeBron is going to announce his retirement in July and then basically, you know, tell the teams, I don't want you to fet me when I come visit for the last time? I mean, listen, and he deserves all the attention he gets. I'm not trying to say he doesn't deserve it. But the idea that LeBron is putting this out there as a possibility, that he's not quite sure if he wants to be, you know, celebrated on the road, is a bunch of nonsense. LeBron is going to soak it all. That's LeBron. That's what he likes to do. He's going to soak it all in, and rightfully so. Nobody's arguing that he doesn't have a right to do that. I don't want Tim, quote unquote, dunking it. But I mean, LeBron's almost adding to the discussion by saying it's 50-50. Because he wants you to talk about it, debate it, whether in fact he should or he shouldn't. LeBron, pipe down. You're going to go out there, and deservedly so, you are going to be celebrated every arena in America. Don't pretend that you're debating it. You know, I know, and the fans know that this is what's going to happen, and in essence, this is what you want. So I pay no attention to it.
Before I answer that question, I want to get back to something real quick, because I want to say something, because people are looking at us on national TV. They're looking at me. They look at my eyebrows, damn near connecting like I'm the unibrow or something like that. I'm not mad at JJ, people. JJ's my man. I like JJ, love him on the show. Mad Dog Russo, you know how I feel about you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching out there, I asked JJ to be on this show, just like I asked Mad Dog to be on the show. I wouldn't change a thing about either one of them. I like it when they come at me. I'm just operating off of 2.5 hours sleep, to be honest with you. I'm exhausted, okay? I'm just admitting it. Damn it, I'm tired, all right? But I love my boys. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that before they jumped off the rails with their nonsense, okay? Now let me get to answering this question about LeBron James. Of course, Doggy is right. There's no way in hell LeBron James is going to walk away quietly. But let me say this. I also hope he won't. LeBron James is one of the greatest players this world has ever seen. He's on a Mount Rushmore of basketball. And what he has done for the game is immeasurable, period. Now, I might blame him for the ruining of the slam dunk contest, but to be quite honest with you, that's about all. There's nothing else to point the finger at with LeBron James. He's phenomenal in practically every way you can imagine a superstar being phenomenal. He deserves to be celebrated, city to city, state to state. Every bit of celebration that you could possibly throw in his direction, he deserves to be celebrated to the level Michael Jordan was celebrated. Kobe Bryant was celebrated. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even more so. He deserves, he's on that level. He's that great, and he's been that great of an ambassador for the game of basketball. Do I believe he's going to walk away quietly and just announce in July that he's going to retire and just walk without being celebrated? No. But I also think if he were to do that, it would be a loss for all of us, because we owe it to him to celebrate him and give him a lengthy swan song for all that he has done and all that he has meant to the game of basketball the world over. He deserves that. And we should want him to announce in advance that he's going to walk away, so we'll have an opportunity to give him the flowers he so richly deserves.
I don't disagree with anything either of you just said. I think what Stephen A. just pointed out, I think is the most important part of this. He deserves to go out however way he decides to go out. To Stephen A.'s point, I agree. Him not getting a farewell tour, I think, would be a loss. I really do. He's been so good for this game. He's been good for the NBA. He's been good for us, like in the media.
Yeah.
He's been a torchbearer for this league for 21 seasons. And we should celebrate that whenever it happens. The one thing I'll say that's interesting to me, that's the second time I've watched those comments now. You know, whether he admits it in that comment or not, he clearly has thought about it. He clearly has thought about retirement. And the reason I somewhat buy the 50-50 thing is because as an athlete, we all have an idea of what retirement looks like, what the end looks like, the storybook ending. And the closer we get to it, honestly, there's more confusion than clarity. There's more confusion than clarity. The fact that he's willing to admit, yeah, I don't have that many seasons left, means we are getting to the end. And I don't think we're at the point where we've taken him for granted. But what he's meant to this league, what he's meant to this sport, what he's meant to the game of basketball, we should celebrate it in whatever fashion he chooses.
The Knicks have the city buzzing with championship aspirations, but did a major star miss out on being a part of something special? Suns forward Kevin Durant notably chose to sign with New York's other team, the Brooklyn Nets, a tenure that fell way short of expectations. In a chat with his manager and boardroom founder Rich Kleinman on the boardroom platform, KD shed some light on how close he was to joining the Knicks over the Nets. That was back in 2019. Take a listen.
At that time, they weren't. I mean, the Knicks weren't cool, but they are a cool brand. Like when the Knicks are on right now, when they popping right now, they're playing well. Last few years, they were playing well. But before that, they wasn't playing well.
But you knew the brand was cool.
The brand was cool, but at the time, I'm not looking at the cool brand outside of the game. I was looking at the team, and the team was not cool to play for. The team was not cool to watch.
Oh, KD, you could have been the trendsetter there, my man. You didn't have to follow suit. You could have led the pack. Stephen A., it's tough to listen to. Are the Knicks now a desirable destination for stars?
Well, before I answer that question, that kind of falls in line with some of the things that we were talking about earlier. You see what I'm saying? But I won't go there because we had plenty of time to get into it in the months and years to come. Kevin Durant, had he gone to the New York Knicks, he would own that city. Oh, my God. With his greatness at Madison Square Garden. Now, J.J. Redick, I know you know this. There's Brooklyn, and then there's New York. Brooklyn is a borough. New York is New York. There is no fan base in Brooklyn that remotely compares to the New York Knicks. You understand? And that man went there. He could have single-handedly changed the culture of the New York Knicks into what it is now, if not even better than that, because as great and phenomenal as Jalen Brunson is and as happy as I am and proud as I am of him and what he has done, there's only one Kevin Durant. Lord have mercy. What might have been. Having said all of that, the New York Knicks are very much a desirable organization right now. It's not because they're winning so many games, because it's not that many if you really, really think about it. I mean, we're hoping to get to the conference finals. There's no championship on the horizon, the immediate horizon. But, they do have 6 first-round picks over the next 2 years. They do have 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. And when you take that into consideration, along with the fact that a Randall and a Brunson is already there, with OG Anunoby, because, that elevates the defense, okay? I mean, I just love the possibilities, and I can say that because it's the first time since 1999 I've thought there have been any real possibilities, even though Mike Woodson did guide them to the Atlantic Division crown, a few years ago when Melo was there, and I thought they should have beat Roy Hibbert and the Indiana Pacers in the damn semifinals, but that didn't happen. But I just like what I'm seeing right now. There's a lot of hope, and orange and blue skies, baby. Anything's possible. Orange and blue skies. Orange and blue skies.
I think you're crazy. I think that, Brunson's different, looking for an opportunity. It was a great sign, and Rose has done a great job. Nick's got a lot of things that they have to. First off, the practice facility is 50 miles away. Right, and that practice facility.
They could snap their fingers and change that.
Nonsense. What, are you going to take helicopters? You got to deal with the traffic. It takes 2.5 hours to get down.
They can practice the NBA Players Association headquarters. They can figure out something.
Everybody lives in Greenwich. The practice facility is in Purchase, New York. I mean, it's a long drive. You're crazy. That's the first thing. Second thing is the weather's terrible in New York. When do great players come to the Northeast? They go to L.A., they go to play in Phoenix. When do they come to New York? Tatum was drafted. Brown was drafted. What, Porzingis? When does a great player come to they go to Miami? They don't want to come to the lousy weather. And thirdly, and most importantly, the fan base is very fickle, and the media is oppressive. Oh, very fickle. And the media is very oppressive. You got to deal with a lot of media in New York. These players don't want to deal with the media. And then if you have a bad game, the media kills you.
But fickle fans?
Fickle, yes. The Knicks fan is not fickle. Are you kidding me?
No.
The Knicks fan is not fickle.
They express that we express our disgust when we're disgusted. It doesn't mean we stop rooting for them.
Do they do that in Phoenix? Do they do that with the Clippers? They do not. They don't even do it in Miami. They leave the building. They don't want to deal with getting booed left and right. They have a bad game.
They don't leave the building in Miami. They come late because there are various distractions.
Well, they did leave Game 6 against the Spurs. They left. They all bailed out.
They thought they lost. Go
ahead, JJ.
Well, I think the word that I would use to describe the Knicks right now is stability. And at least since I've been a part of the NBA, this feels like the most stable that they have been. Leon Rose got hired March 2nd, 2020, which is about a year after Kevin Durant was a free agent. And what he has brought is stability. Tom Thibodeau, he has brought stability. You think about who they've signed in free agency, obviously Jalen Brunson being the first sort of big signing that they've had. He was the biggest free agent that year in 2022. Free agency is dead. So if you're talking about a destination for stars, I don't know how many free agents they're going to sign, even with cap space. Players now, the star players, they are going to continue to sign these massive extensions. I don't know how often, like Paul George potentially could be a free agent this summer. He probably will sign an extension. I think that's more likely. So what they've done with Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, those are great free agent signings. And as Stephen A. mentioned, they're in a position now to trade for the next star with all of those first-round picks that they didn't use in the Donovan Mitchell trade where he ultimately went to Cleveland. So I have to say, the answer to this question is yes, but it's because of that stability that Leon Rose, Uncle Wes, and Tom Thibodeau has brought to this franchise.